Today's Morning First Alert Weather Show is brought to you by Sam Bernstein Law.
Alrighty, good Thursday morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro here with a First Alert forecast update as we look ahead towards the latter portions of this work week. And we are going to be tracking yet another round of snow for our area for tomorrow. In the meantime, though, before that snow picks up tomorrow, we do have some pretty quiet weather for the remainder of today. We are going to stay cold, though, no doubt, but even though we have the cold weather, at least we do have a little bit of sunshine that's going to brighten things up here as we go throughout the remainder of the day. And some of us are already starting to enjoy a little bit of that sunshine, too. I'll take you out to I-75 in Birch Run. This is with your wall side windows camera there. There's a live look at exit 136. You can definitely tell plenty of sunshine out there currently. Looks pretty nice, actually, in Birch Run right now. Roads are starting to dry up as well. If you will be traveling through here on I-75 anytime soon between Flint and Saginaw, definitely no concerns with those roadways as of right now. So looking pretty decent, especially compared to the way some roads were earlier this morning. But despite the sunshine that we have out there, again, it's going to be staying on the colder side for the remainder of today. Let's take a look at these wind chills that we have. Currently feels like -6 in Saginaw, -8 in Flint. We still have a wind chill of -14 in both Oscoda and in Caro as of right now. Some of those wind chills this morning got down to about -15 at the coldest, but that northerly wind has really been kicking for much of the morning, especially in the thumb. We still have some sustained wind speeds that are in the range of about 15 to 25 miles per hour. Now, I do expect this wind to be able to slow down a little bit more as we go towards the afternoon. Some gusts will eventually just be closer to 20 miles per hour, but overall still sticking with the wind and the cold weather for the remainder of today. Even these sub-zero wind chills should only rebound to about the single digits, possibly just upper single digits for the afternoon. So if you do have any errands that you're running later today, or even just picking your students up from school later today, at least the students who did have school today, you're just going to want to make sure that you and your students are still bundled up a little bit extra. So really from here, even though we are turning quieter, for the rest of the day, it is just going to be staying cold. Here's a look at the First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, so you can even see how the snow showers that we had in the thumb, those have mostly been winding down as well. We did have a couple of lingering flurries, especially around Bad Axe, even into the 9 o'clock hour, but as of this point, most snow showers have come to an end. Even in Bad Axe, looks like we have just a few flurries at this point, but still nothing quite as significant as some of those snow showers were during the middle of the overnight. So from here, again, we are going to see things just turning a bit quieter for the rest of the day. I'll show you I-75 again just to show you that clearing that we have and the sunshine, which should stick with us for the remainder of the daytime here. It's actually kind of cool with the clearing sky and all the fresh snowfall. We're actually able to see where some of that fresh snowpack is on the ground. Now, this might be a little bit hard to see here on your screen. This is actually true visible satellite imagery. It's just on a black and white scale, so you can see the lighter areas, especially near Elma and Ithaca and Owasso. That's where we do have some fresh snowpack. And as we know, some of that snow really did hold on throughout much of the day, especially into the evening for southern Genesee County. In fact, Goodrich Schools, that was one of the school districts that was closed for today. Even though the majority of those school closings today were in the thumb, we did have Goodrich schools closed. Even Fenton and Lake Fenton schools were closed today as well. But again, you can really see where more of that snowpack has built up, especially for Mount Pleasant, Elma, Chesaning, Owasso, Flint, a lot of those southern areas where you are seeing a little bit more of that white shading on your screen. But as we go forward into tomorrow, this is where we do have more snow in the forecast. So another system will be moving through, and tomorrow's system will bring more accumulations to essentially all of mid-Michigan. So not like last night where only some certain places are going to be seeing the accumulations. At this point here, we are tracking accumulations for all of our area as we go into tomorrow with that system. What we'll do here, we'll take just a quick break, and when we come back from the break, we'll go over the hour by hour and talk about the snow totals for tomorrow. Just a heads up that the snow totals aren't expected to be very impressive, but still we do expect accumulations everywhere. So we'll talk about that coming up right after the break. Alrighty, welcome back from that break. So we are tracking more snow in the forecast for tonight and as we go into tomorrow. I will say for tonight, it's more so just a couple of isolated snow showers. The better push of snow for tomorrow is especially going to be during the late morning time frame. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast here though for tomorrow. So the next round of snow, again, picking up in the middle of tonight, but starting off a bit more slowly. We do see it turning more steady, especially in the late morning tomorrow. By the afternoon, still some scattered snow showers are going to be left for us. So here's that first alert hour by hour at about 4 in the morning tomorrow. We have a few isolated snow showers starting to move in. One thing that we've been taking a look at here, me and First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips and First Alert meteorologist Stone Schaefer, we've been just looking at this here right before this First Alert weather show. There is going to be some dry air in the lower levels, at least early tomorrow too. So that dry air may fight against some of the snow. If you remember a few days ago this week, we had that rainfall that eventually picked up, but it took several hours for that rain to break through the dry air first, so we could see something similar to that at least early tomorrow morning. So again, it should be a pretty slow start to the day. There we are at about 7 in the morning tomorrow. A few more snow showers moving in, but again, the coverage could still be a little bit spotty there as we're still trying to work through some of that dry air. If you are concerned about the bus stops for tomorrow morning, I do think we will have some flurries at the very least falling by the time students are heading to school, but we shouldn't have our most widespread snowfall just yet during that time. In fact, it's especially in the late morning tomorrow. This right here is 10 in the morning where we do have more snow picking up across nearly all of mid-Michigan. During that late morning time frame too, some of those snowfall rates should be able to exceed 1/4 of an inch per hour and perhaps in the very heaviest spots approaching 1/2 of an inch per hour too. But we only expect to be able to keep up rates like that for just an hour or two tomorrow, pretty much right around lunchtime. So not expecting the very heavy snow to be lasting for the entire day, but again, the snow looks like it should be most widespread during the late morning and right around lunch, potentially up till about 1 in the afternoon as well. So that snow still holding on for us here. Once we go towards the late afternoon, this is at about 5, you start to see the coverage of snow breaking up a bit, more so turning scattered, and then really just a few lingering flurries or isolated snow showers as we go into tomorrow evening and then tomorrow night as well. But here's a look at those snowfall totals for tomorrow. Again, not tracking anything super impressive with any of these numbers, pretty manageable amount by mid-Michigan standards, but should be enough, especially with this falling during the late morning, that perhaps if you have any midday errands, maybe you're doing some shopping around lunch, or maybe you have some lunch plans with your friends for Friday. If you are going to be heading out to lunch, just know that it may take a little bit extra time, especially around that 11 o'clock and noon hour. Only expecting about 1 to 2 inches of snow for the Bay region, the Thumb, our southern row of counties, so that includes Flint, and then Clare, Mount Pleasant, and Alma. But right now we do have that cutoff for the 2 to 4 inch totals, approximately in that neighborhood of Pinconning, Beaverton, Harrison, and then anywhere north of there. So that's where we have that 2 to 4 range in the light blue. So we should be able to see some slightly higher totals into our northern counties. Again, definitely an amount of snow that's not really unheard of for this time of year, but this should be accumulating for all of mid-Michigan. So I think to some degree, by the end of the day tomorrow, we'll all have a little bit of snow cleanup that we'll have to do, especially folks in the Thumb who still have some snow cleanup even this morning from the lake effect from last night. And we're still just in that wintry pattern. So from here, we have really a daily chance for snow showers, whether it's some lake effect or whether we have a clipper system moving through. This pattern is just going to be holding on for the foreseeable future here. So even as we go into next week, we still have some snow showers. And we have even colder weather on the way for next week too. So even though tomorrow we are briefly back up to 32, we'll be settling into the 20s again for the weekend. And then at least for the first half of next week, we're looking to hold on to temperatures that'll be in the teens, at least high temperatures in the teens, low temperatures easily into the single digits. So some of the conditions that we had this morning with the temperatures and with the wind chill, I would expect that to actually be quite the norm for next week on essentially a daily basis too. So be prepared for next week to be pretty cold, some of the coldest weather that we've seen so far this winter, but regardless here, it is just going to be staying cold for a little while. But with those temps for next week, this is good news for our ice fishers. And actually even this morning as I was coming into the station here, driving over the Saginaw River, it looks like the river is already starting to get a very thin layer of ice over top of it again. So pretty impressive, because the river was pretty much open water right here in downtown even just yesterday morning, about 24 hours ago. So the cold weather, definitely a good thing to see for our ice fishers. We should start to build some more of that ice back up, at least the ice that we did lose. But really, again, from here, just holding on to wintry weather that's going to be much more of the norm for this time of year. And looking in the comments here on Facebook, we have Karen saying, still snowing and blowing here in Bad Axe, but you don't need any more. Yeah, certainly in Bad Axe, one of the areas where the snow has been persisting for quite a bit. And at this point in Bad Axe, you do have just some what we call low-topped lake effect. So essentially the lake effect snow there is actually staying below the radar beam. So that's why it looks like there's nothing falling on the radar around Bad Axe. But looking at some ground observations there too, the airport in Bad Axe is still reporting some light snow and also a decent breeze. So yeah, if you are in the thumb, you are still going to have some lingering flurries. I'd say by the afternoon today is really when more of that should be able to cut off, because the clearing that we have, and I'll show you this here in Birch Run again, that clearing in Birch Run should be able to move even farther east into the thumb as we go into the afternoon. But if you are located especially around Bad Axe, you'll still likely hold on to some of those flurries at least for the next hour or two this morning. But that's about all we have with the live update here for this morning for your First Alert Weather morning show. Again, we are going to be tracking more snow for tomorrow. We are continually getting more data in essentially almost every hour at this point, because we are getting so much closer to that next system bringing that next snowfall. So coming up today at noon, First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips will be live on TV5 at WNEM, and she'll be able to have another look at that forecast at noon on air. And then First Alert meteorologist Stone Schaefer will be doing another First Alert weather show right here at 2 this afternoon on all of these same live stream channels. So you'll be able to catch him there as well. So be sure to tune in to Diane and Stone later on this afternoon. They'll have some more updates regarding that snowfall for tomorrow and the cold weather that's sticking with us for the rest of today. But in the meantime, hope that the remainder of your Thursday morning here is good, and definitely stay warm and bundle up. And again, be sure to tune in later on. Take care.